I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker from Avery Dennison, Ana Cervantes. Ana is a senior manager of strategy execution at Avery Dennison, and she's been implementing the OKR methodology in her organization since December of 2023. She has a strong background in business development, project management, supply chain operations, and excels in aligning cross-functional teams, driving cost reductions, and managing strategic initiatives. They have accomplished incredible outcomes in their time on this journey, so I'm really excited to welcome Ana to the stage.
Thank you, Samira. Thank you, Samira. So I'm so honored to be here with all of you today. We just started our strategy execution journey. But as Samira said, we have seen so major wins. And I would like to share a little bit of what we have seen, some of the tips, and also what are the reflections. So, Avery Dennison Apparel Solutions. Apparel Solutions is part of one of our two businesses within Avery Dennison, and why I am personally excited to be part of this. As you saw in my bio, I spent 12 years of my career actually doing ops and supply chain at one of our factories. I was leading the Central America team, and something I figure is that disconnection, how strategy was getting lost from corp to the site, to our frontline employees. We didn't know. I was leading a business unit, and when someone asked, what's Avery Dennison's strategy? Trust me, I hesitated a lot of times. So, what's Avery Dennison? Let's start with that. Probably some of you know the name because you think on a very specific type of labels. Yeah, the ones that we messed with, that we misprinted, that we put in our envelopes on our resume back on those days. We are not longer selling those products anymore. Now, in Apparel Solutions, the business that I'm part of, we are referring to the labels that goes on your clothes, that are in your garments, like the one that's back of your neck, or the one that says how you can take care of the garment. Yeah, the ones that you probably cut with a scissor. That's us. But also, we are now manufacturing RFIDs. Funny enough, RFIDs are probably in 30% of this room. We have RFIDs in our labels, and we can also have RFIDs in our shoes. Yeah, scary, right? Don't tell anyone. So, two businesses, as I said, Materials Group and Solutions Group. Apparel is part of Solutions. Solutions is currently 18,000 employees across 80+ countries, and that's when we are trying to implement, that's where we have started to implement OKRs. So I'm not gonna get you bored. So let's take the next minute to watch this video together.
What if scanning your clothes could tell you their story? Or your sneakers could confirm their authenticity? What if your sushi could assure you of its freshness? Or you could track ingredients from farm to fork? What if your football shirt made you more than just a fan? Or your morning coffee let you tip the farmer directly? What if your car could reflect your style, as well as the sun from your face? What if your windows saved so much energy, they got the thumbs up from the biggest voices on climate? What if a label could alert you a food is going bad, assure you a vaccine is safe, help stop clothing going to landfill, and enable plastic to be recycled instead of becoming ocean waste? What if we told you one company can make all of this possible?
So this is us. This is Avery Dennison, and we're making possible. So, our vision, and I want us to focus on the last few words in here. We're trying to solve some of the world's most complex challenges. And what do we mean by that? We're trying to tackle 4 of the biggest industry challenges. We're trying to optimize labor and supply chain. We're trying to reduce waste, advance in sustainability, circularity, and transparency. And we're also trying to help our brands to connect better with their consumers. So let's start with what needs to go first. What's the strategy? So we were thinking early last year that we needed to do something different. Does anyone in this room know the definition of insanity? Carlos, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different.
Exactly. So when we were trying to refer to the strategy, yeah, we have a long-range strategy, some big numbers to the next 5 years, some numbers to achieve by end of the year. But it was tough for us to actually define those goals and being able to articulate across those goals. So we came together with a framework, a strategy framework, something that was going to be easy for our teams to remember, that was going to be, funny enough that everyone could remember. And we came with the focus framework. Easy, right? We said focus probably 10 times a day. I was trying to count in the previous session how many times we repeat the word focus, and it's a lot. So this was something that was meant to be top of our team's head. Each of the letters, as you can see, stands for a pillar. So everything from our long strategy to our yearly OKRs, to our quarterly OKRs, are following the focus framework. So our objectives follow our financials, our operational efficiency metrics, our client engagement scores, United Teams, which is the people pillar. We just made it up to make it, fit within the focus word. And also the solutions. So a little bit, as I said, on why. And I have heard on many of our sessions, why? That's the most important question that needs to be answered and that our teams needs to understand. Why are we doing this? So I'm going to show you a little bit of our engagement scores, our employee engagement scores. Since COVID time, we were seeing some slight decrease on our engagement scores. And yeah, insanity, right? We were trying to do the same all over again, expecting different results. So we took some time to deep dive on those engagement drivers and try to find what was not working as we were expecting. And I want to call out the second biggest engagement driver or priority engagement driver, which is I have confidence in my company strategy. The number looks good, actually, right? 74, it's not bad. It's actually showing good results. But I will show you in the next slides, are we really sure that even though our employees are saying that they have confidence in the company strategy, that they are actually prioritizing and focusing on the right outcomes? We didn't know, because the number looked great, but we didn't know. So we committed to do OKRs and do workboard. And some of this stuff, we have heard it through the sessions. So I feel so good that I can go and talk with my executives and say, we are not alone in this. There are so many companies going through the same. So yeah, we were having some leadership misalignment that were surfaced during business review. The second point, and that's the one that matters the most for us. Engagement scores are good, but we don't know. We don't know if the team is actually understanding what does that mean. And anyone who's not focused on the strategy is a waste in execution capacity. So if the individuals don't understand why they are doing what they are doing and how that connects to the bigger picture, as we saw on the previous sessions. Yeah, people can be running and running all over the place. And when we ask, yeah, I'm running, because you asked me to run. Where are you going, right? It was time-consuming to get informed. Yeah, and this is the part that excites me the most, but I will hold it until I get to that slide. We were spending tons and tons of hours to actually get the data and take decisions based on that data. We were having some low transparency, and also it was hard to keep up with the pace of the business. This is why. And we have been trying for all of our executives to know these 5 topics top of their mind. and being able to articulate this to the next level in the organization. I'm not going to take any credit on this slide. I stole it from Workboard, yes. And we are keeping the same 3 objectives that we heard. Getting transparency, improve alignment, and raise velocity. And Maya and Ben have done a great job on repeating these 3 things to us, probably weekly by weekly. So, so now we get it. And we have defined partnership OKRs for these 3 objectives. And now we're following them. And guess what? In our journey, since we just started, as I said, in the Get Transparency, we're doing some decent work, some good work. We are about 66% of the achievement of our outcomes by end of the year. And improve alignment, we're there, 50%. And in raise velocity, we are at 20% nearly. But no one said that this was going to be easy. No one said that this was going to be something that we were just, I heard something for Chris in our dinner that he says automagically. This was not something that automatically was going to happen, right? This needs time. OKRs are simple and hard. You know what else is simple and hard? Running a marathon. It sounds easy, right? Like, yeah, running a marathon is simple and hard. But you don't go and get it done at the first shot. You need to build up to that. You need to practice. You need to run a lot of kilometers before going into a marathon until you excel the practice. Something we love to say in Avery Dennison is, this is not a revolution. This is an evolution. And OKRs are meant to be that. Not a revolution, but an evolution. So a little bit of what we have done. So by Q4 last year, we started a pilot. And as I said, I got so excited. I was part of the POC with Workboard. And at the beginning, I was like, yeah, probably something else that we're going to do again. Another tool that probably in a year is going to go away or so. But as we go to the next steps, and we found out that this is a philosophy, as we just heard, I got so in love with all of this. This was not my full-time job. I was a PMO for strategy. And then I actually got the opportunity to lead strategy execution for our paddle group. So it was early this year when we formally kick off the program. Q1, we just had 13 teams creating OKRs. I was feeling so frustrated. I have, as well, a little bit of an OCD, so I want things to get done, and fast. Ben knows that, right, Ben? So I wanted to to have all of my L1 and L4s done by Q1. Now, that took a little bit of a time. It was during Q2 and Q3 that we spent more time on driving alignment. Something that I have learned these past few days is actually how we walk away from the tool, the OKRs word, and we focus, as we said, on the strategic execution piece. That's something we're going to apply definitely. So now we're starting to see some of the results. And I will share some of these with all of you. So you can see the 3 buckets that we have heard: get transparency, improve alignment, and raise velocity. In the get transparency, within 2 quarters, from the 13 teams I mentioned, we were able to have 138 teams by the upcoming quarter. That was massive. I didn't do all of this by my own. I would be a liar if I said that. We created our OKR coaching community. There's a proverb, and probably all of you have heard this, like if you want to go fast, you need to go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to get together. So we created this coaching community. I have 3 Avery Dennison OKR coaches in here. And that was key. That was massive from one quarter to another. So it was Ben, Maya, and myself running sessions during the first quarter. But when we enabled them, we found out the magic of all of this process. And all of them have their day-to-day work. This is, as we have said, a stretch assignment for all of them. So by end of Q3, we were able to have 81% of our L1s to L3s with OKRs already completed. And I just found out the number for Q3. We closed Q3 last Friday, and we have now 92% of our L3s with OKRs, which is great. That makes a total of 150 teams with OKRs. We have nearly 1,000 employees out of the 18,000 employees that I mentioned at the beginning with the outcome mindset and understanding the focus strategy. We are just going through our employee engagement survey this month, and we are so eager to see the results and to see it's just a small, we can say, level of participants on top of the 18, but we are hoping to see some better results there. Improving alignment. We have talked a lot about deprioritization. Guess what? Avery Dennison is just the same. We have priorities, we have business as usual. The first time that we created OKRs, the teams were creating the 5 objectives because they were following the focus framework, but they were creating 10, 12, 15 KRs under each objective. And when we asked, they were just saying, Anna, everything is a priority. I was like, yeah. So it was key that our executives understood that not everything is a priority. Not everything that we do actually is supporting the strategy that we have to the long term. So a big win in here is that for the previous quarter, out of all of our executives, 43% of them were able to deprioritize an outcome. And they communicated that deprioritization. And that's where magic starts to happen. If the next level here, like we are gonna drop this because this is not a priority, then it makes an impact. And if you go to the next layer, and the next layer, and the next layer, everyone then starts to understand why are we doing all of this. Another big win in here is work streams, projects, programs. We have a lot of projects in Avery Dennison. 2 of the 3 persons that are here are actually PMOs. And we decided, it was Q1 this year as well, that we were gonna run our top project in Workboard, and that we're gonna use Workstream. And actually, Carlos led that project. It had a very good name as well. The name was Projectally, and we were trying to recover some of the business that we lost, and so on. And for all of you to know, that has been the best project in the last 3 years. Why? Because we had the outcomes. Because we had the outcomes clear, because we had the action plan behind those outcomes, and everyone was focusing on achieving that. So we had great results. After that, then we decided that we were gonna run all of the projects in Workboard. So Workboard is the key. Yeah, Workboard is enabling us to do so. But the framework is what it's making the difference. And now we are so into the work streams. Actually, in the lunch, we're going to have a conversation with the product team because we want to evolve work streams. Now we want to do more because we are seeing the benefit on how we can connect the work stream to our OKRs. And we can do integrations. Of course, the integrations work. But for us, at least, it has been amazing. We have done a great job there. And we have now 12 projects across the org, fully run by in Workboard. Raise velocity. I'm a people-oriented leader. I need to be honest. I love people. Truly believe that we work with humans most of our times, and it's humans who make everything possible. And in this raise velocity, it's when things started to get even better, at least for me, as part of the outcomes of the partnership. Slides, monthly business review. We heard at the very beginning that there are some companies doing 1,000 plus slides for their MBR. Oh God, I was just like, they are talking about me. Yes, we used to have 1,000 plus slides. You know what? In 2 quarters, we were able to reduce 80% of those slides. And that was massive. But we had our doubts, and we were like, is this real? So we went and talked with our CFO. For us in Avery Dennison, the monthly business review is normally run by our financial folks. So we were trying to understand, is this real? Or are you building your slides, back of your laptop and just keeping them just in case? And we got 2 comments that I will share with you that personally impacted me and our executives. The first comment was, and Denise knows this, I shared this with the Cisco team. The first comment was, yes, now, the night before the MBR, I'm able to sleep. Because I was spending tons of hours tweaking slides, make them look pretty for our MBR. That was so impactful for us. And another comment we got is like, yes, I used to spend a full week preparing for the MBR. I was missing family dinners, I was missing my kids' activities, and so on. And now I have my full 4 weeks available to do family dinners at least. And as I was saying, if we get to impact our people, then they are just gonna make it possible. And they are so committed, they are just running the MBRs by themselves. And something that also helped us in here is as part of our OKR coaching community, we define an OKR lead coach, an MBR coach, and the supporting coaches. And the MBR coach is always the financial guy, the one that's running the numbers, that's connecting the dots, and that's making sure that OKRs are actually supporting our strategy. This is an example of our project framework, as I said. So we have said, every key project in the organization should have OKRs. Of course, we need to know where we're going. That's the only way that we're going to achieve our goal. It needs to have work streams or being work streams, or at least connected to workboard. It needs to have action items and scorecards. Next steps. I truly believe operating rhythm needs to improve at Avery Dennison. We are doing okay, but there's a lot in here that we have done, and Maya Ben have started to talk with us about manager effectiveness and some of the programs that we can do in there. We're gonna expand the OKR coaching community. So I was talking to Denise that I will also do this OK Architects, just because the word, it's great itself, so we can do great things with the program, right? So we're gonna do some benchmark from Cisco, and we're gonna implement that as well in Avery Dennison, and we're gonna do some more trainings. We're gonna expand to L4 gradually. I heard something in the past sessions, like this is not mandated, and that's the same in Avery Dennison. Leadership is not saying you need to do OKRs. So they are able to say, yeah, you know what, Anna, my L4s are new, I just went through a reorg, so I'm not gonna do OKRs. So we have been allowing that to happen, but as we move through the journey, they are just creating OKRs by themselves. And then we see an L4 team with OKRs, without anyone going and say, you need to do OKRs. And key reflections. So we categorize the reflections in 3 buckets. The first bucket, training and understanding. That's key. We need to train our people. We need to let them know that this is something that will happen over time and that they need to understand. The executive sponsor support is key. Our executives have been supporting us since day one, defining those outcomes on what we need to achieve. Implementation and refinement. We heard OKRs will not be great the very first time, and that's fine. We will learn from that. We need to allow the teams to realize that. Balancing ongoing tasks and priorities, so playing with the balls, right? Well, let's categorize those balls. Let's actually make sure that we understand what are the real priorities. And efficiency and strategy alignment. We have addressed duplication through running cross-functional programs in Workboard. Since we are able to understand who's doing what and who's responsible for what and what the outcomes are, there's a lot less of gray areas, and people is now becoming a little bit more accountable. And as I said, understanding the rhythm, that's matter. Something very important is language matters. And as we move through the next layers in the organization, keeping the same language is making a difference. So how is Avery Dennison making possible? So we are making possible through outcomes, not focusing on outputs, focusing on outcomes. As easy as it's all about outcomes. So this is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.